Welcome to the Business Men and Women of Color podcast. I am your host, yes it is, Ann Alston, and I am here again to bring quality programs to all of you. I'm especially excited today because I have another young entrepreneur that's on here making his way across the country, and I cannot wait to talk to him because he has big dreams and he is ready to share it with you along with his mother, and just can't wait to talk to the both of them today. So in the BMWC this year, this is our fourth year going strong. We have 58 participants on this podcast platform. So if you haven't heard of the BMWC before, just know that we are here to educate you, inspire you, and empower you with all of the information that we can arm you with regarding career and business. And that's what we're really all about, unifying the world to talk about career and business so that you can be inspired on what's going on out there and make a decision. So make sure that you like, share, and vote for your favorite podcast because we do have 7 awards up for grabs this year. If you're interested in finding out who won last year, just go to the BMWCpodcast.com and check that out. And if you'd like to take a peek at the magazine, which this young man will be in also, is go to www.ALSTNTEC.com, BMWC Mag, and check out the April edition of the magazine. So before we get started in our interview today, we would like to first thank our corporate sponsors who are My Financial Home, Evangelism Radio, J&F Enterprises, Sears Consulting, Autism Families Rock, Awakening to Love, Eli Natoli, Kimberly McLemore, True Synergy, and Platinum Financial Services, along with all the many participants that we got going on. I'm just telling you, I'm just flabbergasted. I can't even talk anymore. So today, we actually have another young man on here and his mom, Regina Crayton, and we have Mr. Ernez Crayton, dubbed Mr. President by his family, is a youth entrepreneur apprentice. Although his birth certificate states clearly that he is Generation Z, he is also described as I Generation Kid, which is merely an 11-year-old conversationalist who acts more like he's 30 years old because of his big dreams. With his fresh, useful mind that comes without fear, he continually states that he too will be president someday, whether be president of his own company or president of the United States. Being influenced by his parents, Ernest's entrepreneurial spirit has taken flight as he travels across the country along with his mother on her book tour, speaking engagement, and all types of different events in which he is involved in. So as you are reading the rest of his bio, and he has a lot going on there, we're going to bring to the podcast Mr. Ernez Crayton and his mom, Regina. Hello, how you guys are doing?
Hello, Ann. How are you?
I'm giving a hands up, hands clap for young entrepreneurs. Let me tell you something. I am just so excited to have the two of you on here because I love to see young people really get out there and show what they know. So I'm going to begin the questions with you, Regina, by just talking about, where you're from, where you grew up, and, what type of industry that you are working in right now.
Okay. Well, I am a native of California, grew up right in the heart of Los Angeles on what is called the East Side, which is not the best neighborhood for people to grow up in, but I grew up there. My entire family grew up there. And what type of work I am in now, I am a radio personality as well as a speaker, as well as America's #1 book, social media correspondent. After
Nice.
Yes, after retiring from my government job at Superior Court after 25 years, I took a leap of faith and decided that I would go full time all in to entrepreneurship. And it's been almost 3 years. It's been up, it's been down, it's been amazing, and I absolutely love it.
Hand clap, standing ovation, hand clap, standing ovation. Let me tell you something. It is definitely exciting to hear that every single time because it takes guts and glory to leave full-time job to do all in on your business. So congratulations to you. And then we also have Ernez Crayton, dubbed Mr. President. Hello, Ernez.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. So let me ask a question. Why are you dubbed Mr. President?
Because I'm always saying I'm gonna be the president of something since I was like 7. So my entire family just calls me that.
Okay. You know what, Regina? He ain't got to have a reason. Just the fact that he wants to be president of something. Let me tell you, I wanted to be president of something too because I remember as early as 11 that I wanted to be a recording artist, and to me that was an entrepreneurship opportunity. I wanted to have like my own and be my own. And so you know what, Arnez, you keep on, with the Mr. President because we need more African American presidents out there, or presidents and CEOs of businesses. Now, have you thought about what type of industry that you wanted to be president of if you couldn't get president of the United States?
Um, Probably my own company, I guess. Probably like directing, sort of, because
So you,
I make movies with my Legos. Like I take pictures and then like put them together to make it look like the character's moving on its own.
oh wow, so you're doing sort of, the animation where, like Disney and Pixar, right?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay. So how did you get in that? You just decided to just like take some pictures and see if you can make it happen?
I've always like been fascinated. It's always like interested me, something I can like always just watch on YouTube from
Mhm.
bored. Just watching them move, just watching them come to life, sort of, and
Mhm.
like telling a story.
Okay. And so how many of the movies have you made so far?
I've made a couple, but those are just like testers to like see where I'm at with it and stuff.
Okay. Okay. Now, when you made your movies, did you have like a specific theme or maybe a scene that you just wanted to portray? And if you did, which one is your favorite?
Probably the one where I used my Batman character to like jump off a roof because it was pretty hard to do because I have to use certain things to like keep the character up and moving in the
Mhm.
sky, and then it's hard to like edit to erase it, but once it like comes
Mhm.
out in the final product it looks pretty good. So
Okay.
that is probably one of my favorite scenes in a movie I'm working on right now.
Okay, nice. Now, are you doing this with a bunch of your friends, or are you sort of just dabbling this by yourself?
It's like both, sort of. My friend Aiden, one of my very good friends. He likes making these with me. I
Mhm.
sometimes use him for voices if I need any. Um, and he'll like lend me some characters maybe if I need any. But sometimes it'll be by myself, sometimes it'll be with my friends.
That's interesting, Ernest, because one of my sons, my third son, he actually does Japanese animation, and he is really, really good at Japanese animation to the point that he also has a team of friends that do voiceovers, and he just finds that to be the most fun thing that he could ever do is have them do voices, and then you putting together this animation movie, and he's making pretty good money on YouTube doing that.
Yeah, I plan on doing YouTube with it.
Mhm.
I'm actually working on my first movie to upload today and like
Mhm.
throughout this weekend and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, but I just find it like really fun to do.
Okay. So let me just ask a question about the movable animation because I think that that's a fascinating skill to have, and especially at your age, just already learning this. What would be the most challenging part of doing the movie? Because I know part of it is making sure that you have to take a picture with each character, but when you put it together, what's the most challenging part that you have to that just kind of gets you all the time?
Probably the part about editing the footage because there's a lot of things you have to erase and fix lighting issues and with shadows of like yourself in the background.
Mhm.
But so yeah, probably editing it because you it's just
Mhm.
a big process of it to make sure
Okay.
that everything just comes out on its A game.
Nice. Okay. So what else do you like to do in addition to animation and just owning your own company? Because I see that in your bio that you were hired, to give an opening prayer. And so do you like to do a lot of public speaking when you're traveling around with your mom?
Yeah, I get like nervous before, but I end up like just like laughing it out and then be like, okay, I got this. Sort of.
Say,
So,
okay, okay, you got this. Okay.
um, that basically.
Okay. And then on top of that, you have your own clothing line called I Am a King. How did you come up with your own clothing line?
Um, I sort well, I'm always watching this YouTuber Logan Paul, and he's always talking about his own clothing line. So it kind of got me thinking, like, okay, he can have a clothing line, I can. So it's like, um, I tried to find something that was sort of unique but creative. So I'm like, what can I do? And I was starting. I think I was doing an event, and people were calling me a young king, and I'm like, king. So that just sort of brought that idea to me.
Hmm.
Um, and then yeah, the clothing line just from a YouTuber I'm always watching.
Okay, so you doing just t-shirts and jeans or jackets? What type of clothing are you in your line? What are you selling?
I have t-shirts, hats, and also I have hoodies. Yes, hoodies.
Okay, got some hoodies. Okay. And you made pretty good sales on that, right?
Yeah, people they like the idea,
Hmm.
and yeah.
Okay. So basically, let me swing back over to Regina. Regina, you're a proud mama with, Ernest with all of these talents doing animation and videos and clothing lines and speaking, how did that all happen?
Ernez, with like he was saying with his clothing line, he's a gamer. Ernez didn't tell you that he's a gamer. He likes to play Fortnite and a couple other games, and he follows a couple of the big people on YouTube. So his clothing line, he really brought the idea to me because he was inspired by this guy that he watches, and he says, Mom, can you buy me the T-shirt and the hat? And I'm like, you can have your own T-shirt and hat. And then, like he said, people are always calling him a young king when he's at the book signings, when he's at events. And so he says, you know what? I think that I should have a clothing line in regards to kings. So he's not really a drawer, but he kind of sketched out rather what he wanted. We sent it to the designer. They came up with a couple different logos and things. And he says, you know what? This is the one, the I Am King with the crown and the king underneath with the purple crown in purple and the king
Mm,
in gold. So Ernest came up with this, that he wanted to have this after I said, I'm spending money on Logan Paul. You can people spend money on you. This
that's
is
right.
this is part of entrepreneurship. You always
Mhm.
wanted to do these things. You want to go to all these nice places. You need to have your own money. And I love the movie Coming to America, where in Coming to America, the father says, the boy's got his own money. He was talking about Eddie Murphy being king, where Eddie Murphy
Mhm.
had his picture on the dollar. So I'm like, boy, you've got to have your own money. Kings have their own money. So
Mhm.
he came up with the clothing line, and then he says, you know what, Mom, I should have t-shirts to go along with my book. So in addition to the I Am King collection, which is for men and boys, he has a 7 Daily Prayers t-shirts, which are universal for girls and boys. So I am super, super proud of him and the things he's doing. But sometimes I'm a little salty. And he initially hired me for free to be a
Mm.
voiceover for one of his movie characters. And then he told me I didn't qualify.
Well, you know what? You know what? That's a good director right there. That's a good director because if his vision is not there, I'm like this. Hey, you just don't qualify. I thought that's cute, but you know what? You mentioned that he has a book. I didn't see this in the bio, but Ernez, what kind of book do you have? What did you write?
My book is Seven Daily Prayers for Kids, and it's a prayer book to teach kids how to bring God into their life and the power of prayer.
Hmm. The Power of Prayer. And what inspired you to write this book?
My mom actually inspired me when she left her job in Superior Court and just took a leap and didn't look.
Hmm.
Um, her she wrote her own book, Little Gina Bakes Cupcakes with Mommy, and she was really having fun. Like I can tell she was a lot happier, um, about her decision. And I'm like, okay, mom can write a book, I can write a book. So I wrote this book, Seven Daily Prayers for Kids, and so I sort of got the I got the idea for it being a prayer book from my family because we're always praying. Like we're always saying, okay, prayer, we should do this. At the time, my grandmother, she was in the hospital, for because she had cancer. So and like I would, me and my family would always just be praying. I'd be like, okay, prayer, 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 and I would like pray every night before I go to bed. Thank you for taking, Lord Jesus, thank you for taking my grandmother out of the hospital. So it sort of just inspired me to write a prayer book.
Nice. That is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And I love the way you thinking when you say that if this person can, I can. And I want to make sure that you encourage yourself to keep that train of thought because there's a lot of people who feel like they can't do anything. And you've already proven that whatever it is in your mind, you can make it happen. And just doing the book and the animation, I'm blown away. I'm be honest, I'm blown away. I'm so proud of you, Ernest. I
Thank
really am. Yeah. And so coming back to you, Regina. So let me ask a question. What updated activities are the two of you going to be involved in the next several months where they can come out and find his book and maybe talk to you about your books as well and anything else that pertains to you and Arnez?
Absolutely. Ernez just had he's now on a church tour. He just had his first church book signing this past Sunday. Um, a family friend had one of his books and they were so impressed by his book. I think it was at Thanksgiving time they had this book and they were so impressed with the book and they were putting together a children's day at their church. And so it's been a couple months. They invited Ernez out. They said, we're going to have it in February or March, and they just had it this past weekend. They bought a bulk of books. Ernez was a guest speaker. I was myself, and now I'm his mother, but I was still blown away because Ernez, at the age of 11, he stood in front of the entire congregation, microphone in hand. He spoke so nice, so eloquently. He talked about his book. He talked about his dreams. And like he said, in the beginning, he was a little bit nervous, but once he started talking, he got it going. And, I'm just excited for the things he's doing. He's done, I think, 10 cities. He's done a 10-city book tour. So now we're putting together a church tour. We're looking for some sponsors to sponsor venues and all of that kind of stuff. Me, myself, the things that I have coming up, every week I have a radio show. It's called Down with Gina Radio. And we talk about entrepreneurship, accountability, and faith. Also, I'm at live events and I'm helping others create presence, power, and profit by engaging with their online communities as well as the people in the room. So I go all over the country as well as locally for that. Last week I was in Houston working for another conference and all of that. Okay, I got it. Working for a conference and it was just amazing. So wherever people need me to help them create presence, power, and profit, that's exactly where I am. And Ernez is doing the same thing with his book.
Wow, wow. There's power in prayer and there's power in strong families, and I believe in both. And I think you're amazing doing what you're doing. You definitely has inspired me and all the listeners that are listening to this podcast when they hear the playback and everything to
Thank you
reach
so
out
much.
to you and Arnez on that. So, Arnez, I have one question for you, and then I'm going to have a final question for Regina. So, Arnez, what do you need from people who are listening right now? Okay, what do you need to keep doing what you're doing?
Um,
What kind of help do you need, Ernest?
Yeah, what kind of help?
a sponsorship.
Sponsorship to do what? To help you with your tour. You need venues, right? You need a place to host it at. So you're looking for a sponsor to help you host it. You're looking for someone to help you promote it, market, and all of that. You're looking for other podcasts that you could be on, like this one with Miss Ann. This is Miss Ann. You know what? We love things that are first. This is Ernez's very first podcast. So we're
Oh,
excited to be here with you and your audience, your listeners, and all of that, and to speak with them and to speak
oh.
with you.
Well,
But
I do too. I am so proud that you guys are here. And so, Arnez, I want you to keep practicing being on podcasts and doing interviews. And you know what? When you really think about it, this is no different than standing up in front of the congregation, really. You
True.
know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely going to do that. And so for you, Regina, I asked the same question. What do you need personally and professionally to thrive in what you're doing?
personally and professionally, I am also as well looking for sponsorships for my radio show, looking for guests to invest in themselves, to come on the show, talk about their businesses, their product, their services. In regards to America's #1 book social media correspondent, I'm looking for event producers that want to have connection with their online communities. The people that buy tickets and come to the events, that's what we need. But I don't want people to leave money on the table with their online communities. Maybe someone didn't know about the event, maybe they weren't local to the event, but they want to
Mhm.
support the event. They want to, purchase a program or something that you have. So I need people to connect with me to
Mhm.
allow me to come and help them serve their online communities as their
Right.
social media correspondent at live events, whether that's in the Los Angeles area, whether it's across the nation, or whether
Mhm.
it is internationally. Now, as an entrepreneur, with me being able to control my own hours, the places that I work, the clients that I have, I can go just about anywhere that a plane, a car will get me there. So those are the things I'm looking for in regards to business.
Wow. Well, first of all, congratulations to you. You guys have inspired me. Every time I get on here and I hear, young
Thank
people and I
you.
hear the passion behind what you're doing, and you're not afraid to talk about it. You're unapologetic, if I could say the word right, right?
Absolutely.
And what I like about that is that it has a lot of confidence in what you are doing, and you got to have that if you're going to step out on the leap of faith and do stuff on your own and go any and everywhere and just putting it out in the universe. I'm pretty certain that people who are listening is going to resonate with what you're saying, Regina and Arnez, on what it is that you guys are trying to do and bring into the world. All the positivity that I can hear from the two of you is going to go far. And so, everybody that's listening, you already know what's up. This young man wants to be president. Okay. He wants to be president and he wants to be a filmmaker. The next version of Pixar Pictures, I'm going to call it, right? He's going to be the next revolution of whatever the name of his business is in, 3D animation, 2D animation, all of that type of stuff. I know it's going to happen. And he's also a author and speaker. And then you also have Regina, who's out there doing her thing with PR and all that. Just get with her. Just click on the button down below and contact them to see what you can do to add value to what they're doing. And in the meantime, please make sure you like, share, and vote for this podcast interview so that the awareness and the promotion get out to the people who need to hear the information. And with that, I want to thank you, Arnez and Regina, for being on the podcast
Thank you.
and for also being a feature in the upcoming BMWC Magazine Youth Spotlight, where we're going to be spotlighting our youth to gain more exposure to what you guys are doing. I'm so proud and happy for the two of you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Anne. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate the work that you're doing because you don't have an easy job. You have the magazine, you have these podcasts with all these different people. You're up late. We're on the West Coast, you're on the East Coast. So we appreciate you. We thank your audience for listening, and just be blessed in everything that you do with ALSTNTEC.
Thank you so very much.